Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Hope everybody is doing amazingly well. Welcome back to another lesson of English with Ashish. And guys, in today's lesson, we are going to master what adverbials are. What is an adverbial? How does it look like? Different types, different forms of adverbials, how to identify it, everything about it. So the lesson is going to be really interesting. It's going to be really informative. Make sure you watch it until the end. I'm excited as always. I know you guys are too. Let's do this. Alright everybody, let's start with understanding what exactly an adverb is. So we'll look at the word adverbial. I want you to look at the word adverbial. Adverb. So it's something, an adverb is something that functions like an adverb. It works just like an adverb. It's something. An adverb is something that could be a word, phrase, or clause. An adverb is a word, just one word, a phrase, a group of words that does not have the subject-verb combination, or can be a clause, a group of words that does have a subject-verb combination, which functions like an adverb. So an adverbial is something that gives information about a verb. This is what an adverb does. Like a regular adverb, it can modify an adjective or an adverb itself as well, but it generally modifies a verb. Right now, let's read the definition out loud. An adverbial is a word, just one word, or a phrase, group of words that does not have the subject verb combination, or a clause, a group of words that does have the subject verb combination, that modifies a verb by giving information about it. So it gives information about a verb. Understand this. It generally gives information about a verb. But like a regular adverb is one word adverb which functions only as an adverb. It is just a word that functions only as an adverb. So as a regular adverb, it can modify an adjective and an adverb itself as well, but it often modifies a verb, right? Let's take some examples of adverbials and see what they do, right? Example number one. Let's quickly finish the task. Let's finish the task. Let's do something. Let's finish something. Let's quickly do this. Let's quickly finish the task, right? So here the word quickly is an adverb and it is also an adverbial. Why am I calling it both an adverb and adverbial? You'll find that out later on going forward. All right. So it is an adverbial. Why? Because it's functioning like an adverb. It is an adverb, right? It's giving information about the verb finish. It's telling us how the action is happening, right? Let's quickly finish the task, or how the action should happen. How should we finish the task? Quickly. All right. Second example, I will call you in the evening. I will call you when? In the evening. So this phrase in the evening is an adverbial. Is what? An adverbial, right? Giving information about the verb call, telling us the time of the action. When will I call you? When will this action take place? It will happen in the evening, right? So it's giving information about the verb call and working as an adverb. It is not an adverb by its appearance. When you look at it, it's not an adverb, it's a prepositional phrase, but it's working like an adverb. So it is an adverbial. All right. Example number three, she met me last night at a cafe. She met me, subject, verb, object. She met me when? Last night. This is talking about the time of the action, right? So last night is an adverbial giving information about the verb met, talking about the time of the action. When did it happen? It happened last night. And where did it happen? It happened at a cafe. So at a cafe, which is another phrase which is giving information about the verb met and talking about the place of the action. So both these phrases, last night and at a cafe, are adverbials, all right, or we can call them adverbial phrases. All right, they're giving information about the verb met. Fourth example, I was calling you to ask something. I was calling you. I can call you for something, right? I can call you because there's a reason. So why am I calling you, or why was I calling you? Because of this, to ask you something. So to ask something or to ask you something uh, is a phrase that is giving information about the verb calling, right? Talking about the reason or the purpose of the action, right? Why did I call you, or why was I calling you? To ask something. There was something that I wanted to ask, and that is why I was calling you, right? So this is also giving information about the verb calling and working as an adverb. Another example. The company fired John as he had been misbehaving with some female employees. The company subject, right? Fired verb, John, the receiver, object, right? The company did something, the company fired John, right? Can there be any reason for that? Absolutely yes, there can be, and there should be, right? And there is. The company fired John as he had been misbehaving with some female employees. This is the reason why company did what they did, fired John. So this entire thing is a dependent clause. Understand this clearly, guys. It is a dependent clause. Why are we calling it a clause? Because it has the subject, it has the verb phrase, right? Subject, verb phrase, that means it's a clause. Why it's a dependent clause? Because it starts with a subordinating conjunction as. On its own, it cannot give a complete meaning. As he had been misbehaving with some female employees does not give a complete meaning, right? So it's a dependent clause that is working as an adverb. So it is an adverbial clause. Why? Because it is working as an adverb, right? It is working as an adverb. Talking about the reason, it's telling us the reason of the action. Why did the company fire John? Because John had been misbehaving with some female employees, which is a bad thing. All right. So now we know what an adverbial is. It is a word or a phrase or a clause that functions like an adverb, gives information about a verb, can also give information about an adjective or an adverb itself, but generally gives information about a verb. We've seen some examples and understood that as well. All right, now it can be a phrase, word, or clause. Let's talk more about it. Let's see some examples and understand this in a better way. All right, let's look at some examples of adverbials as just one word. All right, he opened her bag and took a knife out of it. He did something, right? How did he do that? In what manner did he do that? He slowly opened her bag. So slowly is a word that is giving information about the verb open. How it happened, it's telling us, right? He opened her bag, he slowly opened her bag, right? It's talking about the manner in which the action took place. We sometimes watch horror movies. We watch what horror movies? So subject, verb, object, right? So we do something, we watch horror movies. We sometimes watch horror movies. So the word sometimes, it's talking about the frequency of the action. It's telling us how frequently we do this, how frequently we watch horror movies. All right, so again, it's working as an adverbial. It is an adverbial. It is working as an adverb, and that is why we're calling it an adverbial. And these words are adverbs. These cannot function in any other way. So they are regular adverbs. Now understand this. Regular adverbs are words that function only as adverbs. They cannot function in any other way. But non-regular adverbs, these are adverbials, right? A regular adverb is an adverbial as well, but leaving these regular adverbs, the other adverbials are words or phrases, not words, phrases and clauses that can function otherwise, that can function as an adjective or a noun as well, right? But these regular adverbs cannot function as nouns or adjectives or any other way, right? They only function as adverbs. That is why we're calling them regular adverbs, right? But they are adverbial since they are adverbs. Since they function as adverbs. All right. Okay. So words. Next is phrases, right? Adverbials as phrases, more than one word. We eat Chinese food once in a while. We, subject, eat, verb, eat what? Chinese food, object. We do something, we eat Chinese food. How often? Once in a while. This is a phrase, right? Adverbial phrase talking about the time of the action. How often do we do that? It happens frequently, once in a while. Once in a while, all right? Giving information about the verb eat. John and Ginny, right? This is the subject, or Guinea, are fighting, verb phrase, fighting where? On your terrace. So John and Ginny are fighting. Where are they fighting? They can fight at a place. They have to. They must fight, right? At a place, right? So they're fighting. This action is happening where? On your terrace. So on your terrace. This phrase is giving information about the verb fighting and telling us the place of the action. It is telling us the place of the action. Hence, it's working as an adverb. Hence, it is an adverbial. All right. It's a phrase, more than one word, but it does not have the subject verb combination. That's why it's not a clause. Now, adverbial as a clause. Example number 1. I hid the money, right? Subject, verb, object. I hid the money. You can hide something at a particular place, right? You always hide something at a particular place, right? Or in something, right? Now ask yourself, where did I hide the money? I hide the money, or I hid the money where we met for the first time. So let's suppose this is a particular room where we met the first time, right? And this is the place where I hid the money. So I hid the money where? Where we met for the first time. So this is a dependent clause that is working as an adverb, right? It's working as an adverb. It's telling us the place of the action. It is telling us the place of the action. Where did the action happen? Where did I hide the money? I hid the money where we met for the first time. Alrighty, just give me a second. All right, second example. We all, subject, will go out, right? Phrasal verb or verb phrase, go out for what? For dinner, right? When will it happen? When the meeting gets over, right? So this, when the meeting gets over, again dependent clause. Understand this, dependent clause that is working as an adverb, right? And telling us the time of the action. When will we go out for dinner? When the meeting gets over. So let's suppose this is the time on the clock when the meeting gets over, and this is the time where we leave for dinner. All right. So an adverbial can be a word, we saw that, can be a phrase, we saw that, can be a clause, we've seen that just now. All right. Now, types of adverbials, right? Different types. Number 1, an adverbial of manner. This type of an adverbial will talk about the manner in which something happens, an action happens, right? Adverbial of time, it will talk about the time of the action. Adverbial of reason, it will give the reason for the action, right? Adverbial of place, it will talk about the place of the action, where an action takes place. All right. Fifth is sentence adverbial, right? It will modify the entire sentence. It will give information about the entire clause. All right. Seventh is adverbial of frequency. It will talk about the frequency of the action, how frequently that particular action happens, right, or takes place. And the last is adverbial of degree. It will talk about to what degree something is true, right? To what degree something happens, or to what degree something is true or correct. All right. So let's look at them one by one. Let's understand them. Number 1, adverbial of manner. These adverbials talk about the manner in which something happens, right? They opened the box hastily. They opened the box in what manner? Hastily. So hastily is an adverbial of manner that is giving information about the verb opened and talking about in what manner the action happened, right? She quickly grabbed my hand. She grabbed my hand. She quickly grabbed my hand. Again, talking about the manner in which the action happened. It can be a phrase or a clause as well. She very quickly grabbed my hand. She, just give me a second, guys. Ah. She very quickly grabbed my hand, or she grabbed my hand as if I was running, as if I was about to run, right? So it can be a word, can be a phrase or a clause, right? Let me just give you an example. She very quickly grabbed my hand, right? So here very quickly is an adverbial phrase. All right, an adverbial phrase of manner. Second, adverbial of time. This will talk about the time of the action, right? Moxie is taking a class. When? Right now. Now. Or Moxie wants a class when? Now. I can make it a phrase right now. Okay? Right now. That will be a phrase, an adverbial phrase of time. I bought these. I bought these. Let's suppose I'm pointing out something, right? I bought these, right? These when? Yesterday. So yesterday is an adverbial of time, a word, just one word. I can say I bought these. Just give me a second, guys. Let's remove this. I bought these the day before yesterday. So this is a phrase. I bought these when? The day before yesterday. It can be a clause as well. I bought these when I was hanging out with my friends. I bought these when I was in Agra. I bought these when I was in London, something like that. So it can be a word, phrase or a clause as well. All right. Third, adverbial of reason, right? This will be an infinitive phrase. An adverbial of reason is always an infinitive phrase, right? That gives the reason for an action, right? It can be a clause as well. I'll give you an example. They left their jobs. Why? To start a business together. They left what? Their jobs. Subject, verb, object, right? They did something, and what is the reason for that? Why did they do that? For this, to start a business together. So it's an infinitive phrase, right? I have a lesson on that as well, infinitive phrases. So it's an infinitive phrase that is working as an adverb, giving information about the verb left and telling us the reason of the action, the purpose of the action, to start a business together. It can be a clause as well. They left their jobs because they wanted to start a business together, right? Because or as they wanted to start a business together, right? So it can be a clause as well, but it cannot be one word. Note this, guys. An adverbial of reason cannot be just one word. It cannot be. You can think about it. You can try using a word as an adverbial of reason. You cannot do that, right? Try that. Next, adverbial of place. It will give information about the place of the action, right? Don't go there. Go where? There. Come here, right? It's not safe. We will meet in the park. We will meet where? In the park. We will meet where we met for the first time. It can be a clause as well, right? She follows me where? Everywhere I go, right? Where? Everywhere I go. So it can be a word, a phrase, or a clause. Now, next, sentence adverbial. These generally are one words that tell the speaker's opinion or point of view about the entire situation, right? Let's look at these examples and try to understand how they modify the entire sentence, right? The entire main clause. Example number 1. Fortunately, I was there to help you. So the main clause is I was there. Why? To help you. I was there. Why? To help you, right? Now, this entire situation is fortunate to the speaker, right? This entire situation is fortunate to the speaker. It was fortunate that I was there to help you. So, according to the speaker, or from his or her point of view, it was fortunate that he or she was there to help you. So, the speaker is passing their comment about the entire situation. All right. Second example, shockingly, he finished everything within an hour. So, this entire thing that he finished everything within an hour, this entire thing is shocking to the speaker, right? Finishing this is not shocking, right? It was him, it was the action, it was the object, it was the timing as well. So everything was shocking, right? So this entire incident was shocking to the speaker. All right. So both these words, fortunately and shockingly, are passing a comment, right? Modifying the entire clause, main sentence. Okay, sentence adverbial. Next, adverbial of frequency. These adverbials talk about the frequency of an action. All right. Um, we hardly have parties at home. We have parties at home. We hardly, like rarely. It doesn't happen quite often, right? We hardly have parties at home, right? So it's giving information about the verb have. We throw parties at home. We hardly do this. All right. Talking about the frequency. She usually comes here to have noodles. So she comes here to have noodles, right? But she usually, right? It usually happens quite frequently. It happens, all right? So adverbials of frequency talk about the frequency in which an action takes place, all right? Adverbial of degree, the last type. This adverbial talks about to what degree something happens, or to what degree something is true, is factual. All right. Example number one: I have almost finished my work. I have finished my work. Subject, have finished, verb phrase. I have finished my work. I have almost finished my work, right? So it's not completely true that I have finished my work gives the meaning that the work is done. I have almost. So it tells us to what extent the work has been done. It's not been completely finished. It's almost been finished. All right. There is something left yet. There is something left to be done yet. Okay. The work is almost finished. So the word almost is modifying the verb finished, right? And talking about to what extent this verb is true, right? Second example, the coffee is too hot. The coffee subject is linking verb, right? Linking verb, main verb, hot, adjective, subject, complement. The coffee is hot. The coffee is too hot. So it's telling us to what degree it is hot. It is very hot. Very is another adverbial of degree. The coffee is extremely hot, too hot, very hot. All right. Adverbial of degree. Third example, he kicks. He subject, kicks verb, fast, right? Another adverb. He kicks how fast. Adverb. Adverbial. All right. He kicks how fast. Adverbial of manner. He kicks somewhat fast, right? So it's not fast, the fast. It is somewhat fast. Like, so it is uh, an adverbial that is modifying another adverbial which is fast, right? So it's a word that is modifying an adverb. That is why we're calling it an adverb, right? And an adverb itself is an adverbial, right? So somewhat is modifying the adverb fast, right? So these are different types of adverbials. Now, different forms of adverbials. Let's talk about different forms it can come in. All right, different appearance it can take. Number one, it can be a prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase can function as an adverbial. All right, it can work like an adverb. Number two, infinitive phrases. Infinitive phrases can also function as an adverb, right? They can be adverbials. Number three, dependent clauses. Yes, dependent clauses can function as an adverb and they can be adverbial. All right. Number four, regular adverb. All the regular adverb, one word adverb are adverbial. All right. Regular adverb phrase number 5. So all regular adverb phrases that are formed out of a regular adverb, these are also adverbials because they function as an adverb, right? All adverbs are adverbials, but all adverbials don't need to be an adverb. We'll talk about that very soon. All right. Number 1, prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is a phrase that starts with a preposition and followed by the object of the preposition. This is what a prepositional phrase is. But first comes the preposition followed by the object of the preposition, right? Now, a prepositional phrase can function as an adverb. When it functions as an adverb, we call it an adverbial phrase. All right. Examples. I'll call you, I will call you. When? In some time. So in some time is a prepositional phrase starting with the preposition in, right, followed by the noun phrase sometime, right, functioning as an adverb, talking about the time of the action. When will it happen? It will happen in some time, right? It's modifying the verb call, talking about the time of the action. Another example, he is hiding, subject verb phrase is hiding. Where? Behind the curtains, right? So this is again a prepositional phrase starting with the preposition behind followed by the noun phrase, object of the preposition. Behind what? The curtains, working. This entire thing is working as an adverb, talking about the place of the action, modifying the verb hiding and talking about the place of the action. Where is it happening? Where is the action happening? Where is he hiding? He is hiding behind the curtains. All right. So these are prepositional phrases that are working as an adverb. Hence, we are calling them adverbial phrases. All right. Beautiful. Next, infinitive phrases. These are phrases that start with an infinitive, that is 2 plus base form of a verb, followed by an object or a modifier or both. All right, this is what an infinitive phrase looks like. Okay, let's look at the examples. I left early. I left early. Early is another adverb, adverbial. Why? Why did I do that? To see you again, right? So to see you again is an infinitive phrase starting with the infinitive to see. You is the object, to see whom, you again is a modifier, right? So this together forms an infinitive phrase. To see you again is an infinitive phrase that is working as an adverb, modifying the verb left, talking about the reason for the action. Why did I leave early? To see you again, because I wanted to see you again. All right. Infinitive phrases, when function as adverbs, they talk about the reason, the purpose for the action. All right. Number 2. Sunil has settled in London. Sunil has settled, subject, verb phrase, in London, preposition phrase. This is another adverbial phrase. Settled where? In London. Why? To earn more money. All right. So this is an infinitive phrase, to earn, infinitive, more money, object, right? Sunil has settled in London. Why? Why has he done that? To earn more money. So this is talking about, this is modifying the verb settled and talking about the reason. Why has he settled in London? The reason is to earn more money, right? So infinitive phrases can function as an adverb. When they do, we call them adverbial phrases because they function as an adverb. All right. Next, dependent clauses. What are dependent clauses? These are clauses that start with a subordinating conjunction, and these clauses cannot give a complete meaning. These are dependent. These depend on an independent clause. All right. So these dependent clauses can function as an adverb as well. When they do, we call them adverbial clauses, right? They can function as a noun as well. They can function as an adjective as well. So these are not adverbs, regular adverbs, because they don't only function only as an adverb. They can function as an adverb. That's why we call them adverbials. All right. Example number 1, we will go to a nice cafe. We will do something. We will go, this is the verb, to here, this place, when, after this boring class gets over. This is what You guys say, right? In a classroom, class is always boring, right? I know you're not talking about my class. I know that, right? After this class, after this boring class gets over, right? So when will this action happen? When will we go out to a nice cafe after this boring class gets over? So this is a dependent clause starting with this subordinating conjunction after, followed by the subject. This boring class subject gets is the verb, right? So hence it's a clause, dependent clause. We will go to a nice cafe when after this boring class gets over. So it's working as an adverb talking about the time of the action. Second, don't call me. Do not call me. Call me when, call when, until you arrange the money. Until subordinating conjunction, use subject, arrange verb, the money object, right? So we have a dependent clause working as an adverb. Since it's working as an adverb, we call it an adverbial. Since it's a clause, we'll call it an adverbial clause. Got it? Beautiful. Regular adverb. Now, these are words that function only as an adverb. They function only as an adverb. They modify verbs, adjectives, and adverbs itself, right? But they cannot function otherwise. They only function as adverbs, right? She dances beautifully. She dances peacefully. She dances slowly, fast. These words can function only as adverbs, right? These are regular adverbs. And these are adverbials as well. Why? Because all adverbs are adverbials. The girl slowly walked up to me and said sorry. The girl walked up to me. How did she walk up to me? She walked slowly up to me, right? Slowly. Talking about the manner in which the action happened. Alright, so regular adverbs. These words cannot function otherwise. These words cannot function as a noun, adjective, or any other uh, function. Alright, regular adverb phrases. These are adverb phrases that are formed out of regular adverbs, right? So we have, how do we form a regular adverb phrase? So we have an intensifier which is basically an adverb, or a mitigator which is also an adverb, plus a regular adverb, right? This is how we form a regular adverb phrase. Intensifier, intensifier is a word that intensifies the meaning of an adverb, and a mitigator is a word that doesn't intensify, that weakens the meaning of the adverb. All right, so you hit us how hard? You hit us hard. You hit us very hard. So very is intensifying the meaning of the word hard. So hard is an adverb, very is modifying this. It is also working as an adverb. Together it's an adverb phrase, very hard. You hit us how? Very hard, right? So it's an intensifier plus adverb. She runs how? Quite fast. Fast, quite fast, right? Quite fast. Regular adverb phrases. These are also adverbials. All right. Now, this question must be coming to your mind, that what is the difference between an adverbial and an adverb? See, an adverb is one of the 8 parts of speech, right? We have 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and so on, right? 8 parts. So an adverb is one of those 8 parts of speech, right? And an adverbial is not one or any part of these 8 speeches, right? It is a bigger term. It is just a term that we've given to something. If anything that could be a word, a phrase, or a clause functions as an adverb, we just call it an adverbial. If anything, understand this, if anything functions as an adverb, we just call it an adverbial. Now that could be a regular adverb, right? A regular adverb functions only as an adverb, but that is also an adverbial because it's functioning as an adverb, right? If it's not a regular adverb, if it is a prepositional phrase or an infinitive phrase or a dependent clause, but functioning as an adverb, we'll call it an adverbial. So all these phrases, prepositional phrases, infinitive phrases, right, these can function as adverbs. These can function as otherwise as well, adjectives and sometimes nouns as well, right? But regular adverbs cannot function as adjectives and nouns, right? So regular adverbs are adverbials, and these other things are also adverbials when function as adverbs, right? Adverbs are a part of speech. Adverbials are a bigger term, right? These are words, phrases, and clauses that just function as adverbs. So all adverbs are adverbials. All adverbs are adverbials because they function as adverbs. They modify a verb, right? But all adverbials are not adverbs, right? So prepositional phrases are not adverbs. They can be, but they are not, right? They can function otherwise as well. So all adverbs are adverbials, but all adverbials are not adverbs. See, I want you to look at this. Prepositional phrases, infinitive phrases, dependent clauses, right? These are not adverbs, these are adverbials. These can function as adverbs, but they don't always function as adverbs. They can function otherwise as well, noun, adjective, right? But a regular adverb phrases always function as adverbs. So all regular adverbs, all adverbs are adverbials, but all adverbials are not adverbs. They can be, all right? We call them adverbials when they function as adverbs. Got this point? So that's it about today's class, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope now you know what is an adverbial, how it looks like, how do we use it in a sentence, different forms, different types, difference between an adverb and an adverbial. Hope everything is clear. We have a detailed post on this on my website, which is englishwithashish.com. Go visit this website and you'll find a detailed post on this. I'll give you the link in the description as well. Go check that out, right? And you'll get to know more about adverbials. And if you guys are watching it for the first time, haven't subscribed to the channel, that's very bad. Do that right now. Share the video with your friends, people that you can help sharing this video, and if you have any question, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section below. You can join my Facebook group, Instagram page. These are platforms where I share content in form of shorts, quizzes, infographics every single day, right? So you can join these platforms free of cost. Links in the description, and I'll see you guys very soon. Till then, keep learning, have fun. I'm out. Namaskar.